It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our speaker. Marla Gibbs is an American television and film actress and singer. She's an icon, someone I watched growing up. Between playing the maid on The Jeffersons, and I don't remember the character name from 227. No, I know the show, the name, the character name. But Mary on 227. And I remember gathering around the TV. I don't even know if we even do that anymore. We gather around the computer now. But gathering around the TV with my moms and my brother and my sister and just watching her and reveling in her comic wit. And she was just amazing. And just a little bit that I found out about you as I researched to prepare for this. You got your first acting role in 1973. It was a minor role in a blaxploitation film, Sweet Jesus, Preacher Man, and Black Belt Jones. Gibbs starred and sang in the movie Stanley's Gig. You performed the theme song in The Memory of You that was written by writer-producer Frank Fitzpatrick. And you owned a jazz club in South Central LA called Marla's Memory Lane Jazz and Supper Club. You released a music CD. I guess I should talk to y'all. She released a music CD in May 2006 called It's Never Too Late. And you've appeared as a guest star in several sitcoms, including The Hughleys, Martin, Chappelle Show, Dave Chappelle Show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You've done voiceover work for animated TV series like 101 Dalmatians, and just generally an amazing woman. She won an Image Award for Best Performance by an Actress in a Comedy Series for your role in The Jeffersons in 1982. And then also for your work in The Jeffersons, you were nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award 5 times. And in 1985, she was also nominated for Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role in a series, miniseries, or motion picture made for TV. And you were also nominated for 4 Image Awards for your work on Passions, Touched by an Angel, and Martin, and 2 TV Land Awards in 2004 and 2006. So get ready. Thank you for blessing us and being proof of the truth. It is a pleasure to have you today.
Good afternoon. What a pleasure it is to be here today. And I do take exception. Everything does not change because I've been 30 for quite a while. And I just had another birthday, June 14th, and I was 30 again. And next year, I'll be 30 again. So some things do not change. I'm here to talk about what an awesome God we have. You know, when he put us here, he put everything that we needed. And he says, you don't need anything. I have given you everything you need. So I never say I need, I just say I want. And I have learned that God is really our partner. I was coming down La Brea and I was running out of gas. And I got just past Adams going towards my house. I just passed Adams going towards Jefferson. My car stopped. And I was remembering what this lady said during the uprising that we had when, what's the child's name that was beaten? Rodney, yes. And this Caucasian lady was in her car driving through, did not know what had happened. And these people rushed over and they were rocking her car, trying to knock it over. And she said, "Get me out of here! Get me out of here!" And she said to the person, she said, "You can tell God this. You can demand," because he said, all you have to do is, And they immediately let her car go and went back and started messing with another car. That thought came to me, and I said, get me out of here. Get me out of here. And this big truck came. I had already called AAA, and they were taking forever to come. This truck came, he pulled beside me, and he got out, he came over, and he said, lift your hood. I did, and he put something in there and went and opened the side of his truck, and he put it over there. And I said, oh, must be AAA. So I got my little card out, and he said, okay, that should get you where you're going. So I said, thank you, here's my card. He said, oh, I'm not AAA. And he drove off. So I get up to Stocker, and it stops again. And I said, get me out of here. And this time AAA came, and they towed me home. That's one. Okay, the next time I'm coming up, and I run out of gas again. You'd think that I would know better by now. And I get up to Stocker, and I'm in the fast-moving traffic lane, which is not the place to be when you run out of something, when your car stops. So I did it again. I said, get me out of here. A man pulls up beside me. He said, you having car trouble? I said, I ran out of gas. Some said, okay, now he's going to drive off, stupid woman. And he pulled over in front of me, got out of his car. He came, he directed traffic from behind me. And he said, do you have a AAA card? I said, yes, I gave it to him. And he called him, because I didn't have my cell phone. You wouldn't have your cell phone when your car stopped. That's just something that happens. And he came, he said he was a police officer. I said, now he's going to give me a ticket. He said, don't worry about it. It happens to everybody. He called AAA. He said, they're on their way. I'll stay here till they come. He stayed with me. The AAA truck came. Meanwhile, I couldn't open my gas gauge from inside like you're supposed to. He knew how to do it. He said, lift your hood, your trunk. I did. He knew how to get in there and open that hood. And they put the gas in. He said, have a nice day, and drove off. So I was saying to God, just let me get across the street. See, going up La Brea, you know, it's an incline. But when you cross Stocker, it starts declining. I said, if you just let me get across the street, I can coast down to the gas station, which is the next corner. He said, nope. You got to really understand these principles. So I said, okay. That happened. It just keeps going like that. And now in 2006, I didn't release, but I recorded a CD called It's Never Too Late. And I'm getting all ready to maybe do, it's going to be a big hit, so I'm getting ready to tour and all that. Bam, I'm going to the theater on Coanga, and my sister and I run across the street. I had met Lee Merriweather, who I really admired as an actress, and she was doing a play. And I said, I have never seen Love Letters. So she said, well, I'm doing it, and I'll leave you a couple of tickets. So she did, and we went across, and they let me in, and I went up to look at the seats before the show started. And I said to my sister, I think I'll go to the restroom before I sit down. So I went to the restroom, and I leaned over to flush, and something said, bloop, in my head. And I said, what was that? Whatever it wasn't good. So I went out and I looked in the mirror, and I couldn't see anything, so I kept standing there looking in the mirror, waiting for something to happen. So then I backed up to the door. I kept looking in the mirror, and that's where they found me, on the floor. And I had had an aneurysm. So they went to the audience, and they said, is someone here with Marla Gibbs? And my sister said, yes. So she said, from now on, you can't go to the bathroom alone. You're not allowed to go alone. So they took me to the hospital, which I don't remember, and they My daughter was my daughter, who has now become my mother, because she keeps on going year by year. And I keep telling her, I have stopped at 30, you need to stop. She wants to experience these things, so she goes, so now she's 60, so that makes her my mama. I said, if you keep going, you're going to be my grandmother. My youngest son, when he was reaching 30, I said, you know your mother's 30 now, so don't get on my number. He said, I'm going to be, I said, be 29. He said, I want to be 30. I said, okay, hurry up and get off my number. So he didn't tell me what he did for his birthday. He went out and he skydived. He didn't tell me till he was done. And I said, wow. Then I said, I should do that. I haven't done that yet. So I'll wait for that one. I'm not doing that yet. But I'm thinking about it. I would like to experience that, jumping out the plane. So I've had these things, and most people that have a brain aneurysm don't survive. So they call me a little miracle, because I did not want to use the diaper. I wanted to go to the bathroom. So every time they would leave the room, I would try to sneak out the bed, and I would end up on the floor. And I said, Marla, we got to stop doing this. We keep ending up on the floor. So they started tying me in the bed, and I'd watch them tie me. As soon as they left, I would untie it. I'd be on the floor again. So when it was time for me to leave, she said, we're glad to see you go. We're scared of you. I don't know why. The bathroom was right next to me. I couldn't see why I couldn't go there. I did not want the diaper. But there's something in me that just keeps saying, it ain't over. So I got home and I looked in the mirror and I said, who is that old lady? I did not recognize her. So I stopped looking in the mirror. And something in me said, keep going. It wasn't time. So I just started exercising and doing things. And didn't you know that in 2009, on the 9th of December, I broke my left foot. I won't tell you what I was doing because it was stupid. But when I went to the hospital, they said, you really know how to break your foot. You have split your metatarsal and fractured 3 toes. So they had pins about that long in my toes, and they put 2 screws in my foot. I said, well, now I'm 30, so I got to get up. So I started exercising, and then I decided, my grandson in the meantime has gotten in a relationship, had a child, and has now decided that he wants to remaster my CD. Because I was saying to God, now why did I spend all this money and do this CD? It's not going anywhere. So I said, okay, so I didn't think about it anymore. He calls me up, he said, Grandma, I think that it's time to release your CD. I said, okay. So he has done all this work, and now he has a website, and if you go to marlagibbs.com, you can see all the things he did. And we're about to release it worldwide. And suddenly, I stopped worrying about what I'm going to do because it's not important. We have today. Today is the present. Tomorrow's always coming. It will never get here. When it gets here, it'll be today. When it's gone, it'll be yesterday. There's no such day as tomorrow. So I had the inspiration for this song on the CD called It's Never Too Late. And it goes, as long as you breathe, you'd better believe it's never too late for life. So drop all your fear, 'cause as long as you're here, it's never too late for life. Dream your dreams, scheme your schemes, living your life is the way. You cannot borrow from tomorrow we only get one day. So don't give me the blues, 'cause I've got good news. It's never too late for life. Start being bold and stick to your goal. Forget all that stress and strife. Just keep the faith and trust your heart, but use your head, 'cause that's being smart. It's never too late for life. And with some help from above, lots of help from above, it's never too late for love. So I told God that I wanted a song to go with this title, It's Never Too Late. And 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up, and that song was in my head, the words, the tune, everything. So I wrote it down and called H.B. Barnum, who was a producer, and sang it to his voicemail, because, of course, he was asleep. And we recorded it, and I never forgot it. So that's one God gave me. So what I have learned is that we have a subconscious which God put there for us. And when you feed the subconscious, it will respond to you. So before you go to sleep at night, sit in a chair, relax, and start repeating what it is you want. You know, Spirit, I know, God, I know that you have all the answers. I know that I am well. I know that I am capable. I know that I have this coming, or whatever it is you want. And repeat that and go to sleep with that mantra in your head. When you wake up the next day, sometimes it's not just the next day, but it's coming. When you have the faith, it's like they say, the faith the size of a mustard seed is all you need. So if you keep the faith and you understand that it's going to happen, then it starts happening. Because that's the law of the universe. It has to. You put it in the subconscious. The subconscious is there to respond to us, but only if we give it. If we feed it. I'm sorry. If we give it the right message, then it will come out, and you will see it. You know, my mother used to say, she was a minister, and she used to say, "All is well." They would greet each other, "All is well, all is well." And I said, why do they keep saying that? I know they got this problem and that problem. Why do they keep saying all is well? But I have learned we declare what it is we want, because what we think we see is not real anyway. We declare what it is that we want. And we have to be the answer to what it is we are seeking. The change starts with you, not without. So, I mean, as far as marriage, whatever, you have to be the type of person that you want to see in your spouse. Once you give it, you can get it. Of course, it would be nice if you asked Spirit before you got into it, instead of waiting until after you get into it. So, since I'm still 30, I have time. That's why I'm 30, because I have time. I never think about age. I just think about what it is I want to do, and where it is I want to go, and what it is I should be doing. That's all I think about. I never think about 83, 84, because then people start saying, "Don't you think you're a little too old for that?" People start messing with you. They don't mess with me. Even if I go to the hospital, the doctor says, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 30, born in 31. You do the math and don't tell me, because I don't need to know." And it works. So they have the little form. It says birth date. I put my birth date down. Then it says age. I said 30. Because I never put behind I am anything other than what I want. I never say I am this, because I am not that. We are universal beings, spiritual beings as well as physical beings, which means we are one with God. We have no time, we're ageless. So I choose to vibrate on 30. And I can do that because God said I can do whatever I want to do. He said, all of us can do what we want to do. If we believe it, we can achieve it. So I've achieved being 30, and that's my big thing. And I'm here to celebrate this birthday girl over here who is so fabulous and has done so many things. My resume does not touch hers. Believe me. Of course, she knows that. She and my sister were great friends in Detroit, and I met her when I came out here, and it was such a wonderful thing. And then I got to be on Touched by an Angel, the one with the lion, and I love lions. They wouldn't let me near the lion, though, because they know they had better sense than me. And then she got to be on 227, and I always think about her. Jackie has on this little girl dress trying to impress her mother. Her mother wanted to know, where did you get that dress? So she comes down to our apartment, and she says to Lester, do I look like somebody that would like a dress like that? Do I look like somebody would like a dress like that? That's the funniest move. I think about that every time I think about that show. It's so much fun. But anyway, what I want to say is that we are here, and while we are here, we must move. We must make a move towards where it is we want to go, what it is we want to do, and we must understand that God is with us every step of the way. We must not judge. We've now become a nation of judges. We look at somebody and we make a judgment about what they're doing or what they look like or what they should or should not be doing. And what you should be doing is thinking about what you should be doing instead of what they should be doing. So I know that I have plenty of work ahead of me because I want to work. So I said to my agent, I don't want to go out for this job. I don't want to go out for that job. He said, but Marla, they got a budget. I know they got the money. I said, yeah, but they're not going to give it to me. So I don't want to go. So you can pick and choose what you want. You start going with the flow and doing what other people think you should do, you're off balance. You got to stick with God and know that whatever you want, as long as it's not harming anybody and as long as it's good, can be achieved. And you just stick with it. And out of nowhere, you don't know where, but out of nowhere it comes apart. And you say, this is what I want to do. But it's not because people come to me all the time, how did you get into this? How did you do this? It doesn't matter how I did it. It's not how you're going to do it. You have to connect with your spirit, with God, and He will bring forth the answers for you. But only if you believe it will you achieve it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This goes back a long time, so we don't have to say anything between her and I to fix it, because we've been doing it for 104 years and 16 months. So we practice it and we know how to do it quite well. She said that about having the ability to do things, which she definitely has. But what she did that nobody seems to want to give her credit for, it wasn't hard getting a job. She's funny. She's talented. She can sing. That part wasn't hard. But meeting it every morning and going through the things that you go through because you're black or because you're a certain age or because you don't look like Sarah Poop. She stood there. I was able to get in because she opened the door. And she kept opening it every day. She's shy and tender, but you should know that many of us, some of them that are getting in today, are getting in today because no matter what they did, she said, I'm not going home. And I don't like that part, and I want this part right here. Well, you can't have that part. Well, then I can't do nothing. I want to have the part that I want to do. I want to give you with no argument, no anger, I want to give you the best that I have, but you have to give me the equipment to give you the best that I have. And for her, I am very, 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 and add 100 more varies, thankful to have been alive when we crashed the walls that let us have ongoing television shows and get rewards and marvels and things of importance to our lives. And she absolutely opened the door.